I would love for you to make a video on how you set boundaries. That's something I've always struggled to do and want to start practicing. Thank you for your comment, first of all, and I thought I would address this comment in the form of making a video about it because I do have some thoughts and perhaps advice that would be helpful to you in setting boundaries. The way you treat yourself is directly related to the way other people will interact with and treat you. And if other people see that you demonstrate self-respect, then that in and of itself, when people exhibit self-respect in their own actions, in their own behaviors, in the way they treat themselves, that is an unspoken signal to other people for how they are expected to treat you. So I will just say that it matters a great deal how we treat ourselves. People throw around this term self-care. To me, true self-care is authenticity. What I mean by authenticity is having the courage to speak up, and it comes down actually to knowing your worth, knowing your self-worth as a person and valuing yourself. If you don't value yourself and respect your own energy and your own time, how can you expect anyone else to do so? So that's number one. So if you lack self-respect, you need to first cultivate that so that you have a strong sense of who you are and you value that in yourself. Having a strong sense of integrity, telling the truth, following through on your word, and walking the talk, not just talking and saying things that don't mean anything, but standing behind what you say and having a strong conviction and honoring it at all times without compromise. So that is the first step, in my opinion, is cultivating self-respect. That will make it easier for you to even establish what your boundaries are. Next comes communicating your boundary. This is the key because, of course, we all have unspoken boundaries within us, but people can't read minds. You can't expect, it's so unfair for you to expect another person to know what you're thinking or to know what you expect from them. That's extremely unfair. And then for them not to follow through on that, if you remain silent, then it leads to resentment oftentimes, and it often corrodes a relationship. If you lack assertive communication skills and you're reluctant to establish and communicate your needs to the people in your life, and if you struggle with setting boundaries, you're certainly not alone. I think it's a very common issue for people. This is an area in which people do struggle a great deal. So there's a book recommendation I have for you. It's called Set Boundaries, Find Peace. You can find this title along with over 5,500 books in 27 categories on the Blinkist app. And I'd like to take a moment to thank Blinkist for partnering with me on this video and for sponsoring me. My gratitude to you, Blinkist. And I'm thrilled to share this because Blinkist is geared towards reading, listening, and learning me. So this is a perfect partnership. Blinkist is an award-winning learning app based in Berlin, Germany that features text and audio from nonfiction titles. The app enables you to expand your knowledge in just 15 minutes. Blinkist offers blinks, which are these bite-sized 15-minute highlights or insights. I like to call them knowledge snacks. And they are little snippets on a variety of topics to empower your knowledge in a way that fits everyone's busy lifestyle. That's what I love most about this. Admittedly, though, my favorite part about this app is the sleek design and the user-friendly interface. I had no trouble at all getting to know this app and how to use it. And new to the app is the best part called Blinkist Spaces. Now you can create a space and recommendations from your Blinkist library all in one place using the app. A space can be dedicated to a particular topic, like mindfulness, or it can simply serve as a virtual meeting place for a group of like-minded people that occupy the same shared space. The best part is that members of the shared Blinkist space can access every single title in the space with or without a Blinkist premium subscription. You instantly invite anyone you like to join the space and start sharing your title recommendations. Access a free 7-day trial and receive 25% off Blinkist annual premium by clicking the link below. I promise you won't regret it. I have been loving this app and I use it every single day. So this is going back to self-respect. People with a strong character and a sense of dignity and feeling good about themselves and secure about themselves, they will be able to set clear and firm boundaries, and more importantly, enforce those boundaries because they place high value on their self-worth and they expect no less from other people. It's very hard, arguably impossible, I would say, to lead a meaningful, fulfilling, happy life if you lack self-respect. So I know I keep repeating that, but it really does begin within. People need to stop looking outside of themselves for other people to correct things. It begins with you. It begins with me. You must start there in cultivating self-respect if you recognize that you are lacking in that area. Self-respect, by the way, is not just about having confidence in your own worth. It's about respecting your emotions and your behaviors, how you manage your emotions and your mental health and protect that space. I recently spoke about how I manage my emotional and mental health in a previous video, so maybe check that out if it is of interest to you. If you don't decide how and when you want to spend your time and energy, your most precious resources, then other people will decide that for you. So boundary setting is crucial. And I also want to make a point that this goes for yourself as well. You have to set boundaries. Hopefully, we set boundaries for ourselves every day. I have a very strict bedtime because I prioritize sleep, and I don't look at screens 2 hours before bedtime. And I also don't eat at least 4 hours before my bedtime because I know digestion will interfere with my quality of sleep. So I have boundaries for myself as well. Keep that in mind, that a good place to start with setting boundaries is by setting them for yourself and then following through on that. And once you prove to yourself and stack that evidence that you can follow through on your own boundary setting, that's a good place to begin so that you can extend that outward and set boundaries with the people in your life. And in my opinion, the personal cost of not having boundaries is going to outweigh any potential fear of upsetting someone with whom you are setting the boundary. I think a lot of people hesitate setting boundaries because they fear upsetting people, whereas in my experience at least, most people with whom I set boundaries actually tell me outright that they appreciate me telling them. They appreciate me communicating clearly to them and firmly what I want and what I need from them. It's refreshing, and most people appreciate it. I will also say that most people that have self-respect appreciate it when others express their own self-respect. Usually like attracts like, and we tend to be in relationship with people who are like-minded. Currently, I'm also listening to the book, which I've already read the hard copy of and love, which is Peter Attia's book, Outlive. And this book is revolutionary. I believe this book is the most comprehensive guide to date on the art and science of longevity and aging. I don't like to say anti-aging, but I like to say healthy aging, preventative, what Peter calls medicine 3.0, which is beyond treatment and curative medicine, and it is moving towards preventative medicine. So this speaks very close to my heart because as a functional medicine practitioner, it's all about prevention. We don't want to wait until the disease manifests. The whole point is starting early and taking preventative measures to extend not only the lifespan, but the health span of the individual. So that's what I practice and that's what I preach. And I never tell my clients to do something that I don't do myself. And I've noticed that Peter is the same. That's why I'm such a proponent of his work and such a fan, for lack of a better word, of his work. I think he is an extraordinary example, a living, walking example of the research and the science. Particularly of interest to me was the last chapter in the book, which is Peter's own emotional health journey that he shares very candidly and poignantly. And I won't spoil the story, so you can read it yourself, but it's incredible. This book is incredible. And I've already started to implement a few of the lifestyle practices because I want to make them lasting for my entire life. I'm doing things slowly. My mother keeps reminding me that taking the slow way will pay off in the long run because it will be sustainable for me. So I'm trying to hold back and resist the urge for me to dive in and do all of these things all at once. I've recently started training my VO2 max, which I've never done, and it's thrilling and I love it. It's invigorating and my body feels incredible. I can feel the intensity of it and I love it. So I will keep doing that. So returning to the topic at hand, in setting boundaries, remember that how often and in what manner you use your time and energy is your choice. You aren't obligated to give your time to people who don't respect it or who drain your energy. The best strategy is clear and concise and direct language. And if you struggle with this, I would say practice in front of a mirror or take a video of yourself speaking it on your smartphone and watch the video back and practice. Actually practice facing the person and telling them, this is the boundary. You know, you can write it out and actually practice it. That's a very good practice, actually, for anybody. If you struggle with communication, being assertive, it's like any other muscle. You can practice it and hone it. And it's a skill. Practice in front of the mirror or in video format. It's very important that you state it in firm, clear language and be very direct about it so there's no confusion. Also tell the person that this is not an expectation, but a requirement for having access to me. Boundaries are not expectations, they are requirements for interacting with me and accessing my energy and time. So I would practice. And as they say, practice makes perfect. So the aim is not to be perfect, but the aim is to be better and to improve. I wish you the best of luck. Thanks again to Blinkist for sponsoring this video. And be sure to check the link below in the description box as well as in the pinned comment of this video and begin exploring, reading, learning, listening, and start today. I always say that the day you begin is the day your progress begins. So start learning and good luck. Thank you for being here. Thank you as always for watching, and you shall see me soon.